Hello, if you are a developer or entrepreneur and you have a new idea and you want to work on that, and you might be thinking it will take a lot of budget and lot of people to develop that idea into a real product, then it is wrong. You can build a POC of your product very quickly using a tool which I am going to talk about in this video. It will take very less time for you, and with few developers you can build and develop your idea into a big startup. And you can check if that idea is going to work, or you want to take some pivot or iterate on different things. You will have feedback loop by talking to your customer and showing the product to them, and with integrating the real feedback. Also, you will incur very less cost while developing this whole process. You will save money not just in terms of development but also during your initial phases with the infrastructure. I am talking about Google Cloud Firebase tool. It is a great tool which I found and discovered to build the new apps, whether it is web application or you are thinking of building some mobile application on different platforms, even iOS or Android, or even cross-platform applications using Flutter. Apart from this, you can also build games. Yes, Firebase supports games also development. During the development, you can use Unity engine or Unreal. These are the two powerful game engines right now, and one is in C#, which is Unreal, and in Unity. Now you might be wondering, for an application, it requires a lot of things, right? Front end, back end, and in the back end, there are ample number of things which you have to work. For example, authentication system, your back end logic, and apart from this, database to store the data, and also the user generated data like images and videos. So cloud storage is something you need. And nowadays it's an AI world, so you require some of the services which use ML, machine learning, right? Firebase support all these things. And after this intro, we will go to the screen and see what are the different products Firebase supports and how you can use them. I will go through the documentation in this video. This video is an overview of overall Firebase services. In other videos, I'll go through with code and explain you how you can use them and build your application. So stay tuned. We will meet after a short intro.
As we discussed in this video, we are going to talk about Firebase. Firebase is such a good tool provided by Google Cloud. It helps us to build the applications very fast. So here the tagline is make your app the best it can be, because you can focus main on your logic and your own idea instead of focusing on the whole infrastructure. So let's go and see the documentation. So before I go in the detail in the documentation, let's see about any full stack application, what it requires. You will require authentication, right? You will require databases and databases to store the data basically, and some storage. And this storage is like cloud storage. For example, the data for your images, videos, and you need to host your front-end application, right? And for backend, you require some server or some serverless functions which can run your logic. And security rule is basically for securing your data so that nobody can steal it, right? Apart from these, you require multiple other things like some extensions. For example, for payment, you require so that your customers can pay you. In other hand, you require something for state management, right? Where you can check the real-time thing if user is liking blue screen or let's say some other color screen. I mean A/B testing. You might have heard this term. And nowadays in modern web apps, A/B testing is must for all the new web apps, so that you can customize and personalize your application according to the preferences of your customer. So there are so many things required for a web application, and Firebase is the solution. Not just building, but even post building, you require some analytics so that you can see the behavior of your users, what they are doing and why they are, if they are churning, then why they are churning, right? And this will also help you in your guidance toward the development of new features, deciding the priority. When you see the analytics and see if certain features people are using more and there is more demand for such application, such features, then you can prefer those features to build first. Apart from this, you will require some ad things that you can show in your web app so that you will have some revenue. So Google Ad Mob engine and Google AdWords can be shown in your apps using the Firebase, and it can be integrated very easily. So let's go and dive deep into this documentation. So here you can see the different services which I talked right now. But before this, let's go and see the fundamentals. And in the fundamentals, you can see Firebase can help you in building the apps, means web applications, and even a game, right? And these apps can be multiple web apps and also the mobile application, for example, on Android and iOS, and also the hybrid frameworks like Flutter, which helps you to build a native experience in the mobile application using a single code base to run on iOS and Android. Apart from this, you can build games, right? Many customers nowadays, many users basically are more inclining toward the games, and these games are built through some engines. And nowadays, there are two popular engines. One is Unity and other is Unreal. Unity is in C Sharp. So Firebase SDK supports the Unity and C++ for Unreal. And Firebase also helps you in building your backend server. At the server side, it supports multiple languages like Node.js, Java, Python, Go, and C Sharp. There can be different types of frameworks which are used in these languages can be used in Firebase. So Firebase supports a lot of things for building your full stack application. Apart from this, you can use ML also in your application, which can amaze your customers. And this helps you to build fast and less time taking, and you can iterate very fast. Let's go into the services. So there are a number of services. First is Emulator Suite. Emulator helps you in building your application locally while developing. You need to test it and work on your code without putting it in the server. So Emulator help in that. And authentication. Authentication is very important for any application because you want to secure your resources. You want which users are logged in and they have their particular roles that they can perform, right? And permissions for some accessing some resources. So for this, Firebase provide out of the box solution, and you can use OAuth also. Do you know OAuth? Uh, if you don't know by the name, then I'm sure you might be knowing by experience in any application when you sign in through Google or Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, then that is called OAuth, because in that case, some other service, other providers like Google, Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, right? All these provide authentication for you, for the users, and your application will rely on that authentication, and accordingly you can store your data. You will get some user ID. So authentication can be built with very ease, and there is a UI solution also. You can use Firebase UI auth, which helps you to build very quickly without doing a lot of programming on the front end. So let's dive deep into other services like Cloud Firestore. It is a database which store your data, and it is a NoSQL data, so you can have any schema. It won't force you to put your data in one particular schema and can't change, right? And this NoSQL databases are good for that. You can change anytime your schema based on your requirement and your changing needs. It provide a very fast access of that data. But if you want, let's say, some real-time use cases, for example, you are building a game and you want to store the user's state in that database so that you can access very fast, or you are building a chat application where you can build a chat app with, and you are chatting with other users. That chat can be stored in the real-time DB so that you can access in the real time and provide notification to other users or show them the real messages. The storage. Nowadays, no apps can be complete by allowing the users to put their images or videos. Almost all apps have profile feature where you can put your image for the profile, right? And all these things can be done in the storage. So storage is like a low cost solution where you don't have a real database, but you will get the storage with to store your blob data, for example, your videos or images. And these different platforms will show the examples of how you have to do the code in that particular language or platform. So in these type of details, we will go in other videos where we will show some hands-on example. Apart from this, we will see, let's say, hosting. So if you have a front end, it has to be hosted somewhere, right? So that user can access around the world. And Firebase hosting provides a seamless experience to build your front end and deploy it very fast. You don't have to do a lot. You just have to put some configurations, and you can use any framework, whether it is React or normal JavaScript or HTML and CSS. You can put it very fast without any hustle. There are different platforms, different frameworks for the UI. You can use Next.js or even different languages and libraries like Angular, Vue. All these are supported using the Firebase. You can deploy your front end, and your app is incomplete without the logic, right? Because whatever you are building, you are thinking of some idea, and that idea can be coded through some logic, and that logic has to be deployed, right? So in Cloud Functions, it provides serverless framework where you can put your logic without running any server. You can even deploy Docker images. So it's very powerful, and it helps you to not run your server 24/7. It will run only when there is a requirement and there is a request from the front end or other applications. So this helps you to trim down a lot of CI/CD thing and deployment. So it saves you a lot of time and money as well. And if you are a young startup, then cloud-based serverless functions, Cloud Functions is very good to use it, because it will reduce time and cost as well. Security rules is for database, where you can use some rules so that your data which is stored in the database can be secured, and only users with necessary permissions can access that data. AppCheck is a service which helps you to protect your API resources by checking the authentication. So for example, you are building some APIs and you want to provide those APIs to other clients and other users which can build front end based on the APIs. So this is how you can use your APIs to protect them. And extension. This is, your application is incomplete without extensions. And let's say you are building some payment gateway integration, right? You can build using extension. Extension basically provide all the things, and you have just to integrate that extension, and it is very less costly, because it charge very minimal thing apart from your functions that are running for performing the action that is required by the extension. So you can find a different extension. For example, you want to trigger some email on some event, so there are extension available. You can just integrate it, and that will be done. Likewise, like there are resize images or shorten the URL. There are so many things which you can find on going to the extension page, and you can even build your extension, which will help you to earn revenue when somebody use your extension. So it can be used as a marketplace, and these are basically right now in beta. And machine learning become a necessary component nowadays in all apps, whether you use it for some use cases which are very small, or you can build your very deep attack based solution where you're using deep learning to build your solution. All these things can be done using machine learning language, where you can deploy your models, and or you can use existing models, and you can build your mobile application which is using, let's say, some frameworks, and your applications can use models on the app. So using the TensorFlow Lite, which is a lighter version of TensorFlow, and which can run on the client. So there are multiple solutions which Firebase provide. Apart from this, there are other things, like you can see in the engage section, there is analytics which you require to monitor the actions of the user. Remote config is a service for your A/B testing and changing the preference and tracking the preference, and showing your app according to the preference of your users. A/B testing is basically testing your app, which particular type of UI is more appealing to the customers, right? So based on that feedback, you can customize your UI. And cloud messaging, in-app messaging, uh, Google Ads. You can show the Google Ads in your application, whether it is a mobile app or web app, and you can earn some revenue through that. So I hope you are the idea of Firebase, how powerful this tool is, and it can be very easy for you to learn this and integrate in your next project that you want to be doing. If you are a college student, you can use this because in the initial load it is free. So let's talk about pricing. If you see, there are two types of price, which is a no cost. First one is where you can use a lot of things without any cost, and even adding the card. So you can see there's an ample number of active users which you can use, right? So 50,000 per month is good amount actually. And similarly for the database, 1 GB database you can store without any cost, and there are other limits. Only the cloud functions are required to pay the amount, and it's not pay actually. You have to go to the Blaze Blaze plan. In this, you just have to your card and payment details, but it will not take any cost up to 2 millions request per month. So for example, if your functions is called 2 millions times, which is huge amount, right? And then even after that, it will be only $0.4 per million request. So I think for a young project, a young startup, it's a good tool to use. And even when you scale, um, the cost which you incur on the developer and maintenance of the system is much more than paying this much of cost for your idea. So a lot of startups nowadays are starting using Firebase. So Google Storage, this is also free. Crash Analytics is free. You can check if your application is crashing. All that analytics can be shown to you and you will be notified. Similarly, you can see there are so many things. You can check out at least the no cost plan, Spark plan, and start building the app. And if you require to use the cloud functions, then you can use you can add the card, but it will not take any cost, even if your usage is nominal. And 2 million is, I think, good amount. So with this, I have completed the documentation overview of Firebase and explained you what are the advantages and disadvantages for using this. Explained you about the advantages of using the Firebase. So it's very easy. In the next video and other videos, we will go in the code and see how we can really use it.
So, how you like the video? Are you impressed with the Firebase? I'm really impressed because it gives a lot of flexibility to build applications very quickly, and you can work on multiple ideas in a month. So, please like this video, share with your friends and others colleagues who loves to build some different ideas and work on some products. Let me know in the comment section what part you need first so that I can show some hands-on exercises on that. Please share, subscribe to this channel. And this is BK from Anika signing off.